are continuing to explore all the potential quarterback candidates for the Patriots during this unusually long offseason. And after the wildcard weekend showdown between Tampa Bay and Washington, this guy had everyone talking, not Tom Brady, but Taylor Heinicke. And so we're going to talk about him as well. I'm Mariah, Janos, joined by Evan Lazar. Evan, first of all, right when this game happened, Twitter's exploding. Would he be a good fit for the Patriots? People want him here. Some people don't. Was this a one and done kind of performance? Do you think he would be a good fit in New England? What are your thoughts on this guy?
Well, you're definitely not investing in Taylor Heinicke to be any sort of promises that he's going to be the starting quarterback. We're not hitching our wagon to Taylor Heinicke. And trust me when I tell you, that's not a wagon you want to be hitched to. As much as he looked impressive in that game against the Bucs, this is a player that is on his fifth NFL team. Okay, fifth NFL team. He's only been in the league for 4 years. So he's a journeyman by definition. Before this season, before COVID hit and all that type of stuff, he was planning on playing in the XFL before the season began. The only reason why he even made this start for Washington is because Alex Smith, Dwayne Haskins, and Kyle Allen all couldn't make the start for Washington. So he was their fourth option. Now, coming out of Old Dominion, the sort of commentary on Taylor Heinicke was that at his absolute best, he was a poor man's Russell Wilson, which is pretty much what we saw against the Bucs, a poor man's Russell Wilson. But unfortunately, those games that you saw, like the one against Tampa Bay, that is the absolute ceiling performance. That's the best it's ever going to get out of him, and he cannot consistently put that out there every single week. So that's why he is where he is in his NFL career. And on top of all of that, he can't stay healthy either when he is out there, because we saw that he got banged up already in that game, and that has been the concern. His frame, his size, and his ability to play with a reckless abandon like he did against the Bucs and be able to hold up for 16 games is another concern. So this is a player that is a journeyman. He's not a player that has any sort of NFL future as a starter, I don't think, and is certainly not somebody, okay, if you want to talk about bringing him into camp to see what he can do in an open competition, maybe that's one thing, but you better have some better options and more viable talents than just Taylor Heinicke in camp, if that's the direction that you choose to go in.
Now, I know you said he's not going to be a starter on any team, but what would his market look like in free agency? What kind of deal could he land?
Well, that's the interesting thing, is that does one game get him a little bit of a pay bump in free agency next year? He is an unrestricted free agent. He signed a 1-year, $800,000 deal with the Washington football team. Veteran minimum in the NFL, basically, right? So you're looking at a guy that's at most, with incentives-based package, looking at a $2 or $3 million deal, I think, and most likely we're looking at another 1-year, 2-year, $800,000 per year type of contract for Taylor Heinicke. It's a great story. He played great against the Bucs. He held them in that game at least a little bit against Tampa and Tom Brady. But certainly when you look at the body of work from Taylor Heinicke, there's just nothing to sink your teeth into. And especially when you look at the fact that he's on his fifth NFL team, that really tells you that he's had plenty of chances in plenty of different organizations and hasn't been able to come out the other side, as anyone within those 5 teams has never felt comfortable about saying, okay, Taylor's our starter going into next year. That's never happened. I think that's a big indictment on the player in terms of his consistency and his ability to do what he did against the Bucs every single week. And I also just want to mention all these people that come out here and say that he played better against the Bucs than Cam Newton played all last year, and that Cam could never make those throws. Let's stop it with that nonsense, and let's just call a spade a spade. Heinicke's a journeyman NFL quarterback. He's an NFL backup at best, and this is not somebody that I'm interested in bringing in any sort of big capacity as a starter for the Patriots.
Yeah, it's a great story, but it begins and ends on Wild Card weekend. So for that reason, we are both out on Taylor Heinicke. I am so sorry.
I can't believe we had to say that. Like, I can't believe we're even doing this video. Like, that's how, like, funny this is to me, because it's just one good game and everybody's sort of lashing onto any sort of hope of, oh, this could be the guy or that could be the guy. It's not Taylor Heinicke, folks.
Yeah, seriously. For all of our Patriots coverage, head to clnsmedia.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel over at Patriots Press Pass.